Hey there guys, it's Ben here from GameRVW.com, and we are currently in the wake of Gamescom, which took place last week in Cologne, Germany. So we had lots of nice bits of gaming news, a few announcements and some new titles we hadn't seen before. So we thought we'd put together a recap of all the sort of biggest and most noteworthy announcements that took place in Germany. So let's begin. Gears 5 kicked things off with a big shouty trailer featuring some big monsters, some explosions and some sort of snowmobile gliding / skiing contraption that looked pretty cool. Rod Ferguson was on stage to give some more detail about the 3-player co-op campaign. Rod describes the story as two-sided, with one side focusing on the overall war and another side focusing on kind of the personal journey of Kate, who is one of the main characters. Rod also covered the new ultimate abilities that are available in the Return of the Horde mode, which included Kate's invisibility and JD's airstrike ability. We got to see those in the gameplay footage. Gears 5 Early Access starts on September 6th, with September 10th being the main release. A new Comanche title was unveiled, with Kirk Lenker from Nuclear on the stage to explain the relaunch. Kirk puts it quite simply, stating, "Everyone loves helicopters, they kick ass." The alpha starts in Q4 of 2019 with Early Access in the new year, and Kirk has encouraged everyone to get involved, check out the website and get involved with the development of the game. The trailer has some nice shots of some helicopters in some dogfights and some smaller drones kind of being sent into some smaller close quarters areas to have some mini dogfights, which looks quite cool. Interesting looking title and maybe one to keep an eye on in the new year. Need for Speed Heat, which was announced before the event, showed off some gameplay in a new trailer. The trailer shows the differences between the night and day experiences, kind of the contrast between how each of those two works. So when you drive around by day, the cops, if they decide to chase you for whatever reason, they will do so obeying the rules of the road. They'll try and chase you down, they'll follow kind of the book, if you like, and they'll fine you for speeding, and they'll generally act like police officers would during the day. You can then switch to night mode to engage in the kind of illegal street races where the cops become a lot more aggressive. If you do well in these races at night, you earn rep points, but you also build heat. So the better you do, the more rep you get, you also build more heat from that. And once you build a lot of heat, the cops are going to get more and more aggressive, and they're going to make serious efforts to kind of stop your car. They'll throw in helicopters, and as we saw in the trailer, they'll ram you head on in a massive vehicle. So quite an interesting mechanic. It'll be interesting to see how it actually plays out. Kerbal Space Program 2 was announced in a rather cute trailer. Actually had some excellent animation work and detail on this one. I was actually quite impressed when I first saw it. No real detail on this one, only a 2020 release date was given, but a lot of people will be pleased to hear that Kerbal Space Program has got a sequel on the way. Another announcement, this time for Little Nightmares 2, had a suitably creepy trailer that showed a 2020 release date. A new character called Mono was introduced, and Dave Marvick from Tarsier Studios explained that both characters will be travelling together in the game, and that there will be some form of combat involved, but hinted that it wouldn't be a strong focus on the title. Little Nightmares, kind of a little indie hit, so a lot of people might be looking forward to this as well. Everspace 2 was announced at the event. The trailer looked nice, cool lighting effects, but just a quick trailer for this one, no real details, and a 2021 release date, so probably a while before we get anything really tangible. However, it's nice to know it's going to be on the way. Disintegration is a new single and multiplayer FPS title from V1 Studio, which is a studio led by a guy called Marcus Letho, who has actually co-created the Halo universe, so quite a big name attached to this one. Marcus was on stage and he stated that the game is pretty much unlike anything you've ever played. So the trailer featured a guy called Roma, who is the protagonist, who operates a vehicle called a grav cycle, which is like a kind of low altitude aerial support vehicle which he uses to give support fire to his ground team. The player, whilst they're operating the grav cycle, can also issue orders to the ground team in order to carry out the missions they're going to be doing and make use of their abilities. It did look a little bit generic, but it could turn out to be a solid experience nonetheless, so keep an eye out in 2020 for this one. Now, there wasn't a category in the Gamescom Awards this year for Best Beard in Show, however had there been, it undoubtedly would have gone to this man on the left here, who came to show off Iron Harvest 1920. This is a new RTS title that's set in an alternate history just after the end of the Great War, with your usual unit types that you'd expect from this era, plus some extra kind of steampunky mechs and artillery pieces that look really cool as well. Looking at the trailer reminds me a bit of Company of Heroes. Of course, this is set a little bit earlier and in an alternate setting, but any RTS fan may want to keep an eye on this one. Hideo Kojima stepped out onto the stage to much fanfare to show off some Death Stranding gameplay, as everyone was kind of expecting. The presentation showed the characters of Mama and Deadman, with the latter being played by Guillermo del Toro. It also explained the connection between the main character and the baby, which has a link to what they call the other side. and it gives some of the sight of what it has to the main character whilst he is kind of connected to it. The gameplay footage looked pretty, but much like the cutscene footage, it was very surreal and frankly quite confusing. I think for many this will turn out to be a love or hate title. It might end up being very interesting or unique, but it's going to have a lot to prove. Empire of Sin looks quite interesting. It's a Prohibition era title from Romero Games with XCOM style turn-based combat. There'll be both combat scenarios to get involved with and out of combat management of your companions and all of your resources, and your companions' stories and actions will change based on the decisions you make. So they confirmed during the on-stage presentation that whilst one player might have a certain character go down one path due to decisions they've made, another character might end up completely differently with another player based on the decisions they make throughout the story. So it kind of personalises your fighting team a bit as well, which is quite nice. So maybe one to keep an eye out for. Greedfall seems like one of those games that could turn out to be a sleeper hit. It's made by a development team who are self-confessed fans of older BioWare RPGs, and Greedfall's system of in-game plot choices and maintaining relationships with your companions is similar to something in like Mass Effect or Dragon Age. The game launches on September 10th, so it won't be long to find out if this is worth picking up, or if it would just be another RPG that comes and goes. As well as the announcements and the presentations we all got to see, some of our guys at GameRVW were in Cologne this year to try out some of the games on the show floor, so here are a few of our select favourites. John Wick Hex is a tactical game where the player takes the role of the iconic assassin from the films. The guys at GameRVW were able to meet with Mike Bithell, who is one of the developers, and play the game for a while, and they love the combat system. The combat works much like in a title like Superhot, where time only moves as you do, which gives you time to think about your actions, but where your enemies will move whenever you carry them out, meaning you have to predict their movements. You also have to balance your health, ammo and focus resources and replenish each one when they become low. Our editor-in-chief James actually wrote up a piece about this on our website, which I recommend you go and take a look at. King's Bounty 2 appears to have kept the charm of the original title whilst utilising more modern tech to improve the visuals. The King's Bounty games have been generally well regarded, so here's hoping that this one can continue that trend. Mountain Blade Bannerlord. No, this is not an out-of-season April Fool's joke. The game that almost became a meme was finally given an early access release date of March 2020. It is officially almost harvesting season. The guys really enjoyed playing this one, so we have hope that all that time was put to good use. And that's the GameRVW recap of Gamescom 2019. Thank you very much indeed for watching this video. Please check out the website, the rest of the channel, and I will see you next time.